Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. You guys seem to really like the degaussing video I did a while back, so I figured I'm going to update that and give you a little more content and a little bit more of the crazy screen that some of you guys really seem to like. So before we get started, a couple things that I did not point out in the previous video. The degaussing coil kicks off a pretty strong magnetic field, so if you have anything that's going to be erased by that magnetic field, you know, floppy disks, hard drives, debit cards, like the magnetic stripe on credit cards and debit cards. Another thing to watch for is going to be mechanical watches. If anybody has a nice mechanical watch, there's a chance you could magnetize the spring inside there using a degaussing coil like this. So all that stuff you want to keep at least 10 to 15 foot away from what you're doing here. So that said, I'm going to take my watch off. We're going to get started. Now that we're ready to degauss, one of the first things I like to do is get some sort of test pattern up on the screen so I can kind of see a little better at what I'm doing and what the results are. So you could use something like the 240p test suite for the Super Nintendo to do that. Or a lot of these CPS games have a service mode that you can go into, and they have some test patterns as well. And that's what I'm using here. So I'll just turn on service mode. Now if we go down to something like the dot crosshatch, we can kind of see what's going on. And you can see it's actually pretty good right now because I degaussed this not too long ago. So let me introduce some issues, and then we'll go through and properly degauss it. So. All right, that screen looks pretty dorked up. You can see all the discoloration. That's what you'd expect if you came close to this with like a big speaker magnet or just even a big magnet. You would get this sort of weird discoloration going on. Sometimes if you rotate the monitor vertically, you'll see the same thing. What's actually going on, the beams are being aimed at the phosphors on the screen through either a shadow mask or an aperture grill. And if they can say magnetic charge on it, it does not direct the correct beam to the correct phosphor, and that's why you see these weird color patterns. And degaussing it should correct that and remove those spots of magnetism in that aperture grill or shadow mask. So let me get you a better angle on this, and we'll get started degaussing it. All right, guys, so with my degaussing ring in my hands, it's off right now. I'll get really close to the screen, just a couple inches away, starting in the center of the screen. I will turn it on and then just start doing circles. You can go clockwise or counterclockwise. It does not really matter. Slowly working your way out larger and larger and further back away from the screen. Once you get back a good 5 or 6 feet and you see your degaussing coil is not really doing a whole lot anymore, you can turn that coil off. And we are ready to go. That is it. All right, and I'm well aware some of you are just watching this video just to see the screen go crazy like that. So for those of you watching the video just for that, this section is for you. For anybody that wanted to understand how to degauss it, the educational portion of this video is over. Something else you guys might like. Let me see if I can get you a better angle over here. So back here on the circuit board back here, this is what we call a flyback transformer. It's what provides the high voltage up to the picture tube on the screen, but it has two adjustments here. The bottom one is kind of like an overall brightness. They call that the screen adjustment. The top one's actually a focus adjustment. So I'll go ahead and turn that here in a moment, and you can see what it actually does on the screen. So that's full one direction. You can see it's quite a bit blurry. We can go back, it gets nice and sharp, and then we can go the other direction, it gets blurry again. That's kind of, if you got a picture tube that is a little blurry, a lot of times you can correct it just by turning that adjustment. All right, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll stick around. Let me know what else you'd like to see. Thanks.